Okay, so I want to tell a little story about this guy I used to know and this thing that happened one time. Okay, so I was in the army with this guy named Brierly, Winston Brierly. He was this guy from like eastern Connecticut, western Rhode Island, what used to be referred to historically as a swamp Yankee. You can go look that one up. And he was a huge shitbag, probably one of the worst. But unlike Weber, who I just talked about, and a lot of other guys, he was like a likable shitbag. I don't think anyone had a personal issue with the guy. I didn't have any problem with him either. He was cool. Whatever. Bad soldier, okay guy. And, but yeah, this guy was basically born to be a criminal, right? Like one of these guys that's just born to be a career criminal. There's just something off in his brain, antisocial personality, or what. But the guy just can't stop committing crimes, getting in trouble, getting arrested. Holy shit. Yeah, he was probably the biggest criminal I knew in the army, or very close. Close enough. And also, he had a little bit of a minor speech impediment. So instead of like Brierly, he couldn't really pronounce the letter L like an Asian person. So he would say kind of more like Wyowie, and it became a running joke. And he had a sense of humor. He'd go along with it. Like, Wyowie! It's Winston Wyowie! And he also went AWOL for close to a year. It just, another great epic shitbag. And but it didn't stop me from trusting him one time. I still don't know why the fuck I did that. Why you trust Brierly with anything valuable, let alone your car? But he comes up to me one day. This is like February 2011 or late January. I'm almost out of the army. He comes into my room one day and he goes, "Hey, Levy, I'd like to borrow your car." And I'm about to be like, "Fuck you, Brierly. I wouldn't trust you as far as I could throw you." Yeah, right. And he wants to borrow it for an entire weekend. And he saw I was about to say no. He goes, "Hey, I'll give you $600. Did you say $600? Really? This is for 2 days, right? And, I'm fucking private specialist in the army. That's money to me. Thinking, well, okay. And then I'm just like, all right, here, take it. Keys are right here. He gives me 600 in cash on the spot, takes off with the car for a whole weekend out to Connecticut to see his girlfriend, I think. And he comes back without a hitch. The car is in perfect condition, no problem. So then, like, the next weekend, comes back again. He's like, "Hey, can I borrow it again? You trust me now, right? I took care of the car, no problems." Said, "Yeah, okay, you didn't fuck up the car." It's like, "I'll give you another 600. Whips out another $600 in cash, puts it in my head, goes off to Connecticut again. So now I have $1,200 for nothing, just for sitting on my ass for a weekend, 2 weekends, whatever. And then he's supposed to be coming back on Monday morning, like 6 a.m. That's when we have PT and everything. You got to show up. And I'm also supposed to go to this, it's called the Single Soldier Retreat. If you heard my Strickland story, this was obviously a different retreat from the one I went on with Strickland. But yeah, I'm supposed to go on this thing, and I'm supposed to get in my car and leave by about 9:30 a.m. to head out to Lake Placid, spend the weekend there. And if you didn't have a car, you take the bus. They provide you with a bus to get out there. But like, okay, I'm going to drive. He's bringing my car back. So 6 a.m., he's not there. It's like, all right, he's a few minutes late, whatever. 6:15, not there. 6:30, no Brierly. 7, 8 o'clock, no Brierly. I'm like, what the fuck? And I start calling him, no answer. Then I called his girlfriend. He gave me her number in case of emergency. She's like, "Sorry, I don't know where he is. I haven't heard from him, but I'll let you know if I hear something." God damn it. Where the fuck are you? Oh no. Oh, I'm supposed to leave in like an hour. Fuck. And finally, it gets towards 9 o'clock, and I realize I gotta go on this retreat. I signed up for it. The army already paid money for me to go stay in this like 4 or 5 star hotel. I cannot be like, oh, I'm not going now. I have no choice. So I now have to get on the bus. We go out to Lake Placid, and right after I get to my hotel room, the phone rings, and it is Sergeant Paris. Those of you who follow me, you know him.
And he goes, "Yeah, Leviskowitz. I gotta talk to you, Leviskowitz."
Like, oh, fuck. Because this was one of Brierly's kind of his partner in crime. I think they did a lot of shit together when they were in the army. And I knew that's what it was about. Like, you didn't even have to tell me. Like,
"Yeah, you wanna know what happened to your car, Leviskowitz?"
oh, no.
"That shit got repossessed.
What the fuck? What do you mean?
Brierly got pulled over by the cops outside Albany, and the cops repoed that shit. It's in an impound yard now."
Like, what the fuck?
"Yeah, something about your registration was expired." I'm like, "Oh!"
So it was partially my fault, too. It was his fault for getting pulled over. My fault for having expired registration. No, now no one has the car. Thank God it was not in a police impound lot. They contract out like a civilian impound lot to take the vehicles and hold them. So they charge a lot less money to hold on to the car. It would have been like 3 times more if the cops were holding it. But now I'm trying to figure out how the fuck I'm going to get my car back without involving my chain of command. Like, me and Paris are trying to figure this out. I'm trying to figure out a way to get down to Albany. Now, I got plenty of money. I got Brierly's $1,200 he gave me to pay the impound fee. That's not a problem. The problem is getting to Albany without a car. God damn! And then a couple of days later, Brierly walks into my room at lunchtime and goes, "I'll leave you. I got to talk to you." Oh, no. What now? Like, I left 4 pounds of weed in your car. I said, what? Are you fucking kidding me, Brierly? He's like, dude, I understand you want to be pissed at me. It's not in there anymore. I said, why are you even telling me this? I don't even want to know. Why does it matter? Fuck. But now the cat's out of the bag. And he goes on to explain that the weed was in there when they impounded the car, but it was like inside my dashboard. He like took part of the dash apart and like stuffed it in there and then screwed it back up. And so it goes into the impound lot full of weed. And him and a couple of his friends drove down to Albany at like 3 a.m., hopped the fence, took the weed out of the car and hopped back over. And nobody knew. They like put everything back together so nobody noticed, whatever. I'm like, what the fuck? You didn't tell me that? I mean, I figured the guy was taking my car to sell drugs. Why would someone give you $1,200 for 2 weekends with a car? It's way more than it would cost to rent a car, right? He could have rented a car for $30 or $40 a day. So, but I didn't think 4 pounds of weed. What the fuck? And then, it gets worse. Don't worry. So, a few days after this, I'm eating lunch in my room. I get a knock on my door. I open it. It's a couple of CID agents. You know, Criminal Investigative Division, Army CID. Anyone who commits like serious crimes in the military, in the Army, gets a visit from CID. They're going to be investigating your ass. And they're like, we have a report that Private Brierly stashed 4 pounds of marijuana in your vehicle. We want to search it. And I'm like, well, what about if I say no? They're like, well, we're just going to come back with a warrant. I'm like, fuck it. He said it was gone. I believe him. So I let them search my car. And I sit there in the barracks parking lot as these guys, I guess it was a couple of agents that were like car experts, really good with their hands. They took my entire dashboard apart. I didn't know there was this many pieces to it. Like dozens of fucking pieces. They look through all that shit. There's nothing in there. I'd probably still be in like Leavenworth, Army Federal Prison. And then they screw everything back on. And then they make me come down to the fucking CID office, right? Yeah, and they start like trying to interrogate me, blah, blah, blah. Even though they had nothing to charge me with, really, it was all empty threats. I guess I came across as somebody that never been arrested, never been interrogated, been through the system. But they were trying to like yell at me, intimidate me, tell me I was going to jail, blah, blah, blah. You guys didn't find anything in there. How the fuck am I going to jail? You're not going to do shit. And I'm in this fucking CID office all day long. Like they got me maybe like 12:30. I didn't get out of there until about 9 or 10 p.m. And then finally, my first sergeant had to come down there and sign me out of the CID office. First Sergeant Hutchinson. Thank God he was really chill. Really cool first sergeant. And he was really old school. He didn't really give a shit what you did off duty. As long as you didn't get in serious trouble or like embarrass your chain of command, embarrass your unit. And as I walked to my car, he's like, Levy, watch the company you keep. Watch who your friends are next time. Good night. He walks away, and that was it. Yeah. And months later, after I got out, and I went back to Fort Drum to visit, is November 2011, and I went over Paris's house to say hello. And then finally I asked him, I'm like, yo, what was the deal with this weed in my car? Please, I know you know about this. And he looks at me and kind of laughs and goes,
LeFiskowitz. Yeah, there were never anything in that car, yo. Yeah, Brierly played your ass, man. He never had no weed in that shit. Yeah, that was all bullshit, man.
And I'm like, really? I went through all that with CID for absolutely nothing? Wow. And oh, you want to know something really funny? Oh, man. So, about getting my car back. It's in this impound lot for a week. Finally, Paris arranges for this kid in the battery to drive me down there. I pay him like $120 for doing me this favor. All the way, like over 2 hours to Albany, and he has to go 2 hours back. Cost me like $500 or $600 to get the car out. Then another like $500, $600 to fix my registration. So the whole $1,200 was gone. But hey, at least it wasn't my money, right? And check this out. I get my car, I walk up to it, and this shit is showroom clean, right? This guy uses my car to fucking to traffic drugs. It could have gotten seized and I never saw it again. Like interstate trafficking, they'll take your fucking car in a second. He gets pulled over, gets it impounded, gets me interrogated by CID for 12 hours about this weed that was never actually in there. But oh no, he cleaned my car. It was cleaner than I'd ever left it. Holy shit. Thanks, Brierly. Yeah. So, that was my little story with this guy I used to know in the Army, this shitbag Winston Brierly, and how I was dumb enough to let him borrow my car because he gave me a lot of money for it, even though I know he was using it to traffic drugs, and he ended up getting it impounded and getting me a visit from CID, and it was just a whole fucking mess. What a guy. What a fucking guy.